Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to look at a rather lovely new deck, which is all built around Amazing Rares. I have told you that I thought Amazing Rares could work, and I've told you that there was a little bit of potential, and I tell you what, this one looks really, really good. Also worth bearing in mind, this list will get you all the way through rotation completely unscathed. Unless I've missed something obvious, and correct me in the comments if I have, I think every single card in this list just survives rotation, which is kind of awesome. So what we see here is a deck that really does revolve, at least initially, around Amazing Rare Jirachi. Now, Amazing Rare Jirachi has got that amazing ability whereby when it's in the active, you can just look at the top two cards of your deck, put one in your hand and the other on the top of your deck. It draws you an extra card, except it draws you a choice of two cards, and I know it's only two cards, but that is going to give you a whole bunch of extra consistency, and I love it. But it's also got an attack for one Psychic, one Fighting, one Metal Energy, that lets you search your deck for up to 7 basic energy and attach them to your Pokemon in any way that you like, and then obviously shuffle your deck. So, the question here is, how do we make Jirachi work? And the answer is, yeah, we actually legitimately can, and also, thank goodness Jirachi is a metal Pokemon. You see, what we do here is we use Metal Saucer, and we use Turbo Patch. Metal Saucer is an item card that lets you attach an energy from your discard pile to one of your benched metal Pokemon. And then we use Turbo Patch. Turbo Patch is that new card that came around, or is coming around depending how you look at it, in Darkness Ablaze. And it lets you flip a coin, and if heads, you attach a basic energy from your discard pile to a basic non-GX Pokemon. So here, if you go second, and this legitimately can work, if you go second, then what you need to do is Metal Saucer, hit a heads on Turbo Patch, attach the third energy, and then you're off. And then you've got 7 energy on the field, however you like, ladies and gentlemen. However you like. That's kind of awesome. Like, really kind of awesome. Now, the thing that's always sat a little bit weird with Jirachi for me is the fact that you've got to get free energy on there. But because you're using item cards, you are just accelerating 7 energy, and that's a little bit over the top dumb good. We do, as a side note here, also play Energy Switch. So you can potentially Metal Saucer onto a bench Pokemon, or Turbo Patch onto another Pokemon, and then Energy Switch it up. And then, of course, once you've used Jirachi's attack to accelerate energy, you don't really want to do anything else unless you can use the attack more than once. So what we want to do then is energy switch from Jirachi to your other Pokemon. Nice! So, which other Pokemon are we using? Well, I told you it's an Amazing Rare deck, and it really is an Amazing Rare deck. One of the ones we're going for here is Raikou, and Raikou is the main one. We're playing 3 copies of Raikou, 2 of another, and 1 of 2 others. So Raikou here, for a Grass, a Lightning, and a Metal, does 120 damage to your active, or your opponent's active, and then 120 to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Yep, that's a pretty redonk attack. And do remember that all of these Pokemon only give up 1 prize when KO'd. That's pretty gosh darn relevant. So that's a pretty nice attack. We then have 2 copies of Rayquaza. Now, Rayquaza for me was not one of the most exciting of the Amazing Rares, but it may well be that I'm a bit mistaken here. For a Grass, a Fire, and a Lightning, you discard all basic energy attached to this Pokemon. Obviously, you can have extra on there. And then you do 80 damage for each type of energy discarded in this way. But of course, being an Amazing Rare deck, you are playing 5 different types of energy. So you can easily get up to 240 for free energy, 320 for 4 energy, etc. It's pretty gosh darn nice. And then we've got 1 each of Zacian and Zamazenta. Now, Zacian here comes along with an attack again, it's an awkward attack. They're all 3 different energy, and it's annoying and blah, 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 and boo, hiss, etc. But Zacian here, for 1 Psychic, 1 Grass, 1 Metal, does 150, but if your opponent's got a VMAX in play, you do 300 instead, which is kind of nuts. It does have an attack for 1 colourless energy that does 30 and attaches a basic energy from your discard to itself. Fine if you can't get Jirachi going in the early game as a backup plan. But really here, your opponent plays a VMAX, you do 300 damage, and I know 300 isn't enough to KO most VMAXs, but 300 damage is still an awful lot. We then have Zamazenta. Zamazenta comes along for 1, it's got the same first attack as Zacian, but then for 1 lightning, 1 fighting, 1 metal, 180 damage, and during your opponent's next turn, you prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon VMAX. So against a VMAX deck, Zamazenta will act as a nice little wall. And then we've got a few kind of helper Pokemon. We've got 1 copy of Crobat V. Lets you draw until you've got 6 cards in hand. That's pretty good. 1 copy of Oricorio. If one of your Pokemon was KO'd last turn, you draw 3 cards. Bearing in mind that you're playing a single prize deck, so there's going to be lots of turns where you've just had a Pokemon KO'd. And then 1 copy of Dedenne to discard your hand and draw 6 cards. It's just a bunch of Pokemon that let you draw extra cards. You'd rather not use them, but you kind of have to. And then 1 copy of Tapu Koko Prism Star. I love Tapu Koko here. Firstly, I mean, it lets you Lost Zone it and attach Lightning Energy to 2 of your bench Pokemon. And we have some Pokemon here that use Lightning Energy. Jirachi isn't one of them, but it doesn't really matter because we've got Energy Switch. And now we've got Turbo Patch, and we've got Metal Saucer, and we've got Tapu Koko, and we're playing a bunch of Energy Switch here, and hopefully you can start seeing how this all adds up very, very quickly. You've got a lot of different tricks for getting energy around on the field, and it really will give you a good chance of getting that turn 1 Jirachi, or at worst, turn 2 Jirachi. And then from there, you're rolling. And to be honest, if you don't get the early Jirachi, there is a decent chance that you're still playing Metal Saucer, Turbo Patch, Tapu Koko. You can legitimately get a lot of energy onto the field before you use Jirachi. Now, in terms of energy, we're playing a mixture here. We kind of have to. We're playing Metal Energy. We are playing Lightning Energy. We are playing Grass Energy. We are playing Psychic Energy. And we are playing Fighting Energy. And the reason is extremely simple. These are the energies you need to pay for the Pokemon we're using. Really is as simple as that. Now, in terms of trainer cards, there are a bunch of weird things here, but I've pretty much run you through them as we go. Turbo Patch, very important for accelerating energy. Metal Saucer, very important for accelerating energy. Energy Switch, very nice for making sure the energy you have accelerated goes to the right Pokemon. We also see that Viridian Forest becomes really important here because it lets you discard a card from your hand and then search your deck for any basic energy and put it into your hand. But that's actually really important because we're playing 5 different types of basic energy here. We are going to need a little bit of help at times making sure we've got the right energy. That's where this comes in. Not to mention you can also discard energy from your hand, so it's in the discard, ready to use with something like Turbo Patch. Oh, look how that worked out. Outside of that, the deck is a lot more straightforward, and a lot more as we would usually expect. 4 copies of Professor's Research, 4 copies of Marnie. These are the 2 best draw cards in the game. Research, discard your hand and draw 7. Marnie makes both players shuffle their hands, put them on the bottom of their deck. You grab 5 cards, your opponent gets 4. So you don't discard your hand and you disrupt your opponent a little bit. That sounds alright by me. And they're just what we see in most decks. We've got an entirely basic deck, so we play 4 copies of Quick Ball, though again, you can discard cards from your hand here, which could be very useful because all of your energy other than Jirachi will be accelerated from the discard. And we got a couple copies of Ordinary Rod here to recover your Pokemon, because you're playing, one Zacian, one Zamazenta. You might want more than one. Well, here you can. Not to mention recovering that energy, which you may well need to for the late game. Oh, and 2 copies of Air Balloon, so you can give basically anything you want free retreat. Mostly Jirachi. Because generally speaking, if the game goes well, you're going to have Jirachi in the active, accelerate energy, and then retreat into whatever you want to attack with. I know Jirachi's only got a retreat cost of 1, but most of your amazing rares other than that have a retreat cost of 2. In fact, all of them do. So, it's fairly important. I love this deck. This deck seems like it would give me nightmares playing. It seems like you've got to be really, really careful as to exactly what you play when and your sequencing and all of that and your resources and picking the right attacker. It looks like a very awkward deck to play, but it looks fun and I love it, and I'm definitely going to be having a play with it. But I'd like to know what you think. Also, shout out to the lovely Talonite X for the deck list. Dude's awesome. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.